Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, triple play, yeah.
This is Triple Play Fantasy Basketball, Week 11, hitting you for a preview of this week. We'll talk about games played. We'll talk about how many games each team plays. And we'll talk about people that you may want to roster for the week. We typically are talking about 10-team, 12-team leagues, but we talk about deeper league guys as well. All of our takes are, based on your league settings, who's available on the free agents, who you got on your bench. So just keep that in mind that if I say pick up Grayson Allen, it may apply to your team, or, you might have somebody really good at the bottom of your bench and don't make that move. We're in the thick of things. We're halfway through the season. It's a new year. Happy New Year's, people. 2025, quarter of a century. How's that make you feel, E?
I mean, if I wasn't already old, James, first show of the new year. I forgot about that. Any New Year's resolutions for you?
No, don't do the New Year's resolutions, I guess.
Nope.
I just
sorry. Too good for that. I
want to be the best father I can.
Aww.
Continue to spend some time with the family. And I notice that you're growing up too a little bit. Parties above your apartment building, they're bothering you. You're not getting enough sleep. Get off my lawn is starting with Doc. You're changing on me, my man.
Only a little bit. All
right. Well, it's week 11, and the games this week, much like last week, it's an even Steven type of week where they don't have jam-packed games like more than 10 games, and they don't have days where they don't have basketball. 9 on Monday, 7, 8, 8, 7, 7, 9. So between 7 and 9 games in each and every single day, which makes an active fantasy owner. Please make sure that even the bottom feeders in your league, they're at least editing their lineup for the week. So that way they're not running up the scores in certain matchups that's swaying on the top. Also, don't let the person on the bottom of the league do trades because, they're probably not.
James is so
playoff
salty.
Contention.
James is so salty. I know how to get under James' skin. Let me just say this stemmed from a conversation prior to us going live.
Yeah. You want to speak on it?
I know. People don't want to listen to our personal trades, but just this is what feeds into the chemistry. I can get under James' skin like dirt under a nail.
By trading with the worst person in the league every year. Games watched week 11. One team has 5. It says the team with 1. The Suns have 5 games. I repeat, the Suns have 5 games. Everybody else has 4. 18 teams have 4. That's Brooklyn, Charlotte, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Detroit, Indiana, Miami, Milwaukee, Minnesota, New Orleans, the Knicks, the Magic, the 76ers, the Blazers, the Raptors, Utah, and Washington. And then 11 teams have 3. That's Atlanta, Boston, Cleveland, Golden State, Houston, Clippers, Lakers, Grizzlies, OKC, Sacramento, and San Antonio Spurs. One guy that plays 5, and he may need to get rostered more. He just came back, and that is Grayson Allen, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, eligible. His last week's stats, they only in last 2 weeks he only played 1 game, but it was the last game that they did have 13 points, 4 boards, 6 assists. And if you get 5 games of Grayson Allen, it's probably better than 3 games of somebody on the bubble like Arisha Shea. Just throwing one name out there, but you see the teams, San Antonio, Keldon Johnson type of guys like that. What say you on Grayson? He was one of the guys last year that was really cooking for me, especially in the 11-cat league, because he shot high field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage, and he got some dimes. With Bradley Beal in the fold, he's not getting the same type of run, but he's a good player when he's available.
My thing I'm curious with Grayson Allen, like if he plays all 5 games next week, absolutely.
Yeah.
He came back from a concussion. You don't see that as much in the NBA. And he missed 5 games spanning from December 23rd and coming back January 4th, and played 31 minutes, played well, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 threes. What happens? Like, what are you just thrown back in the fire and he's playing all 5 games? Is there going to say, okay, like, I'm going to take it easy? That we don't have as big a sample size as like we have guys coming back from like calf injuries and maybe they the second of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
That's my only trepidation with Grayson Allen. But assuming that he plays at least 3 out of those 5 games, I definitely think he's somebody you need to scoop.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I'll run it out and see what the first game looked like. And then if it doesn't work, then just move on. Nurkic might have got dropped in your league. He'd be somebody because of the suspension. He comes back. He's somebody I think about. And then everybody else was either rostered or someone we don't mention. Maybe Ryan Dunn, deeper leagues. He's 2% rostered. He's going to get you defensive stats at the very least. In the last week, he's averaging 10.5, 6.5, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1.5 block. So he's somebody that can pile it on in a deeper league for sure. A horrific injury to Jaden Ivey, who was having his best season of his career, nearly shooting 40% from the three-point line. Amen Thompson is, for me, the pickup to get out of Detroit. Sometimes his minutes are spotty.
Thompson?
Did I call him? Oh, man.
Oh, wow. Oh, you said Amen. Oh, man.
I did get Amen Thompson in my other league and Ausar in another. Ausar, I apologize. Ausar Thompson.
Hope
who
he's
is
listening.
A game breaker on defense. Last night, he had 10, and 6 steals. And then Orlando, when that catastrophic injury happened, he had another 5 steals. His minutes, again, aren't really super concrete here, but he's worth a gamble. I mean, he should be playing more. He is a winning basketball player. I know that he can't shoot the 3, but if he doesn't have the shot, he's not going to shoot it. He still shoots over 50% from the field in general. And like I said, he's one of our better perimeter defenders, in my opinion.
James, once again, agreed with everything you said. I mean, 22.2% from 3 is actually 3.5% up from last year. I wonder if this has to do, the lack of playing time has to do with the blood clots that he suffered last year and kept him out early this year. Because from a minutes perspective, he's playing 18.3 on the season and doesn't have a 30-minute game yet. And he's only hit over 25 twice. So I'm curious. I mean, even with Detroit losing Jaden Ivey, and that should hypothetically open up more minutes, is this something that plays into that? But I mean, the steals, 6 steals, and then a game before that, 5 steals. Like that's steals court talk we're talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, he did have a game where he played 27 against Miami, he had 19-9 and 4 steals. And most recently, he had 26. Both of these games, he had over 25 minutes. So hopefully that we see that kind of being consistent. Against Charlotte, he only played 14 the game after he had those 5 steals. But a person that is playing on that team that is getting the bulk of that time, and that's because he is a threat from beyond. Now, right now, he's not shooting the ball well. Doc questions why I put him in there, but when you play 33 minutes and you're somebody that has had some heater streaks in your past as far as shooting the ball is concerned, Tim is shooting 33% the last week, but if he gets it rolling, he starts making a higher percentage of the shot, which it does happen, ebbs and flows of shooters. He could be a valuable guy to roster, much like Malik Beasley.
The rant I had about Duncan Robinson last week, we can just copy and paste that and insert Tim Hardaway Jr. I was actually looking. They have similar stats, and I can't believe I'm saying this. Duncan Robinson's stats are actually better.
Yeah, because he sprinkles in some assists here and there.
I mean, Duncan Robinson averages 2 assists. Like Tim Hardaway is averaging 2 rebounds, which is a career low, 1.6 assists, and 0.4 steals. He does not have a block on the season. He is not doing much for you.
End scene. I had to look at I was looking at the Duncan's like assist total. I mean, I guess recently he had a game of 4, game of 5, game of 6.
Game breaker, as you'd say.
Yeah. I mean, recently. Of course, that Miami situation is something to watch. I picked up Rozier, and I'm regretting it already, man. God, he's so awful these days. Max Christie, but I saw him defend his teammate. I was like, all right, cool. Like, let me ride with this.
You get toughness points for owning Scary Terry.
Yeah. He's probably cut. So Max Christie is playing bona fide minutes. He had a game of 28, and these numbers aren't wowing you, but with an opportunity, much like Tim Hardaway Jr., there are worse options out there. And as a young player, you could see him maybe gaining some confidence. Obviously, JJ Redick has some confidence in him playing these starter minutes, and the Lakers are playing damn good basketball right now with him in that starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, JJ Redick isn't afraid to play who he thinks is going to give him the best chance to win. Doesn't matter contract, doesn't matter the position or where they were drafted. Max Christie, see on the screen last week, 32 minutes per game. I mean, Dalton Connect has played way less. Dalton Connect had an 18-point game December 28th, but since then, under 25 minutes in the next 3 games. I don't think Shake Milton is a threat to eat his minutes. I think DFS is more in the front court. Max Christie's been playing well. I don't think 28 points is reasonable, but from a 3-game stretch from December 23rd to the 28th, 17, 16, and 16. And he's giving you a steal a game, which isn't bad.
Well, and when Doc said the Lakers are dead and LeBron is going to retire at the end of the year, ever since then, he's been going crazy. As of late, the Lakers have lost, 2 of the last 8 games. So they've been moving up the standings. I don't know if you know, but if the playoffs started today, they'd be a home court team. So I just throw that out there.
Do you think they'd win? No.
All right. Well, you were talking about they're maybe not even make the play-in. All right.
Hold on, wait.
Thanks for sparking that.
Show me where I said that.
Shout out all the other Laker haters. LeBron James has more 30-point games than anyone in NBA history. And if you saw the highlights, bro, man, he put a mid-range just spectacle back-to-back, hand in his face.
James, it's amazing for how
Turn back the clock.
For how much you slurp LeBron.
Don't say pause.
Yeah, it took 13 minutes for us to get the pause minute. I'm surprised you only have, I guess, 2 things. I see the Wheaties box back there.
Oh, I got mad stuff back here. You just don't see anything. Hey, there he is.
Oh, my God.
Bub Carrington playing a little bit. We got to move on because we could do the LeBron show on a different day. Last week, 10% roster, getting categories, not a points league guy, getting a little bit more opportunity. He hit that rookie wall pretty hard. They also showcasing Malcolm Brogdon to try to get something out of that somehow. It is trade season, so you see some weird things happen with rosters. Not quite telling you to click the pickup button, but he is somebody to watch coming soon.
Well, just like we talked about with the Nets last week, and when you look at Keon Johnson and Noah Clowney, I mean, the Wizards are definitely showcasing Brogdon. He's played 20-plus minutes in every game over the last month. He's played 8 straight games, which you think for a vet like that coming off an injury that maybe they'd give him back-to-backs off. But no, he's been playing, and I think it's to showcase him. I mean, James, you didn't put the minutes for Bub on there, but 36, 31, 28, 43. Even though he's hit the rookie wall and his percentages for the season aren't as desirable, he's getting minutes, and now he's shooting guard eligible.
I mean, and he has a shot at the all-rookie team. I mean, obviously we know that this rookie class is nothing to
muy debut
scream home on, but his average on the season is 9 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. So, I mean, those are, you could find worse numbers, especially for a rookie point guard when he was only a freshman coming out of college there. One Baltimore kid to a next, Cam Whitmore, who he sounded like he want to get traded. When they talk about his role on the team, he's going to get you points. That's about it. And Doc had mentioned this too. He's like, he's allergic to passing the ball.
Ooh, wait. Say it again.
Doc said he's allergic to passing the ball.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I didn't say I didn't feel that way.
No, bucket getter. That means he's a bucket getter.
It doesn't. Yeah, defended that part. I didn't say that he can't pass the ball because he doesn't do that. No. But day after Christmas, he had 27. We've seen when he plays minutes, he does produce, and maybe hopefully he gets a change of scenery. But if Dillon Brooks is available, now he's 29% rostered, but that's a 9% increase this last week. He's been consistent, and he's no stranger to being allergic to passing the ball. But when you're scoring damn near 20 and you're hitting 3 threes, in the last two, he hit 2, a 27 and a 26-point game. And, hey, we didn't even mention Jabari Smith Jr. is hurt. So I know that Amen Thompson's going to get a lot of that clock, but Brooks always gets clock. He always gets run. He knows he has a bona fide role on his team. And it's just I feel like he's a little bit currently under rostered in some cases. But you don't feel bad about cutting him. I will still say that.
You know what? I think Dillon Brooks, as of now, and obviously things can change, I think he's more above than just a streamer. Over the last 6 games, he's taken at least 12 shot attempts in each game. So the volume is there. He's played at least 30 minutes in the last 7 games, reaching the 40-minute mark twice. Obviously, he's not going to get a lot of assists, but 4.5 is a decent amount of rebounds, and he's giving you a good amount of threes. So I think this is somebody to watch. It will be interesting to see what Houston does at the trade deadline if they decide to move anyone. But if not, Dillon Brooks is going to continue to play those minutes.
Half of his shots that he makes are from beyond. So he
absolutely
he shoots a 3-point percentage. You know what I mean? Because he just doesn't. You don't see him getting at the rim or doing anything like that. More than half of his shots, I feel like, are from 3. So in a categories league, like you can get some. You're going to get around 3-pointers because he shoots. He's never seen a shot he doesn't like.
You know what? He's not in the Isaiah Joe, Kaishan George territory where 90% of his shots are threes. It's like 70% maybe. But, yeah.
Wendell Carter, in the last league, he deserved, some 14 league praise, some 12-team lines here and there. So that's why I thought that he deserved mention, and he's getting some of those defensive stats. I think Paolo's on the horizon, though. So I think that 26% roster might go down in the next week because he's gonna be taking away a lot of those minutes, which Orlando has. They've gotten by. They started off so hot, and Jalen Suggs has kind of been carrying that team. They desperately needed one of their guys back, and they get Paolo back. So,
yeah, I mean, with Carter, I think the best days of rostering him are probably in the past. It wasn't encouraging to see him play 18 minutes after playing 34 the game before, but he's giving you solid rebound numbers. I don't think the 11.3 is going to stay, especially with Paolo back, but decent rebound streamer. James, quick quiz. Yeah. What is he shooting from 3 this year?
35%.
14.9%.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
He needs to work on that. But it's the first time we've had a big man featured in 2 weeks, and we got a slew of these average kind of guys. Trey Lyles, 4% roster. This is a deeper league cut. Doc, you put him in this week. So what's your take on Mr. Trey Lyles?
Okay, so with Trey Lyles, look, Mike Brown just got fired. You can throw any, this is the rotation they had out the window. Trey Lyles, 20-plus minutes in the last 5 games, has scored double digits in 4 out of those 5 games with a high of 20. It's giving you decent rebounds, 5.5 per game, obviously not giving you good assist numbers. But for a big man, he's giving you 2.8 threes per game, 1.5 stocks. And the Kings have done slightly better since they fired Mike Brown. I think they don't have the depth in the front court. I think they have a lot of ball-dominant guards. But Trey Lyles, 29 years old, been playing better ball recently, new coach. I think way more than 4% rostered.
You know who's coaching the Kings right now, right?
Oh, gosh.
All right, we talked about Max Christie earlier.
Oh, it's Doug Christie. It's Doug Christie, yeah.
It's Doug Christie. And even though they look like they may be related, they are not. So I Googled that this week and I was like, man, are they related at all? Like,
you know what? I feel like for the Kings, they could just do nostalgia hires and like the fans would approve. So like just hire like Peja to be, because Vlade Divac used to or still runs the team. Just get Peja in like a manager role. Bring Mike Bibby back. Have like Bobby Jackson be like assistant coach. Now all will be forgiven.
It's definitely a family affair in there. You know, Max has a brother that plays in the league. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Well, yeah, his brother got drafted by the Clippers in the second round. His name is Cam Christie. So they play in the same city. I wonder if they are rooming together. Very weird question, but anyways,
of course you're wondering where guys sleep.
Pause. I can't stand
I'm pausing on you.
I'm about to drive over to your crib. Anyways,
No, you won't.
Nikola Jovic, he's hit or miss. Like some games he's good. Statistically speaking, I think he's a decent basketball player. But some games he kind of pops off and he'll give you dimes and rebounds, points, hit a couple threes. And then other games it'll be like nothing. So he's a streamable guy in moments as a 4-5. But I think that he's playing decent enough that in deeper leagues he's worth a look because he has a consistent role with Miami right now.
He's playing decent enough. He's also playing decent minutes over the last week, 24, 25, 33, 31. Jimmy Butler suspended 7 games. And with him out and not trading anyone, look, we've already talked about how thin of a roster Miami has, how little depth they have. They grind their minutes, their players a step below Thibodeau. So I think as long as he's continuing to play those minutes, you add him. And speaking of Thibodeau, playing Karl Anthony Towns 40 minutes back-to-back nights. He got hurt yesterday, hopefully avoided something serious, but maybe look at some Knicks this week if Cat sits a couple games.
Yeah, it is amazing how he can kind of just get away with that.
Dude, I try not to like cherry pick or like fall in love with Josh Lloyd's takes, but Josh Lloyd is the king of like, how does Tibbs keep getting away with this? And I fully agree with him.
I mean, we'll see if he can break the Iron Man. Then me and Mikal Bridges, and Bridges plays more than anyone else in the NBA, right? He leads the league in minutes per game. He has to. Like when I check out the box,
83 games last year.
Crazy. Jovic in his third season, he's only 21 years old, so he's still a young player in the NBA. And who knows if Miami has to put him on the way out with Jimmy Butler, but that is the biggest thing in the NBA. We're waiting for where will Jimmy go? Is it to Houston? Is it to the Grizzlies? As Doc has told me that the odds have changed over there. They're having crazy, mysterious injuries, and the speculation is in.
James is responsible and doesn't sports bet, so I have to update him on what the books do.
Yeah. And the books apparently don't lie. Or is that what they say? Something about Vegas knows all, but
I mean, Shams lies, but that's for a separate pod.
All right. Does he?
Oh yeah. There are huge draft implications that Shams did as a employee of FanDuel.
I do know that Adam Schefter cooked Doug Gottlieb. That was hilarious. He came with receipts, and it's like, Jesus, Doug. Why don't you win a game? You're in last place, Mountain West. Anyways, we banter a little bit. Obviously, this was a beef pod, but I still got love for you, Doc. And in the new year, we hope that this is a good year for you going forward. It's not over yet, unless you're in last place. But if you're somewhere in the middle, you got a chance. And things can sway in a week or two, and who knows? Chet, Paolo comes back, your team starts doing better. You had Chet on the shelf. Injuries are part of the game. Maybe you were banking on Kawhi Leonard. We'll see what he does, but Kawhi Leonard's back playing basketball.
Look at James being a little positive inspiration at the end. This is where the coach comes in.
I'm trying to do that a little bit more. Sometimes it weighs on you. Got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, what can I say?
James, mental health advocate.
Yeah. Tears aren't a sign of weakness. They're strength leaving the body.
Oh my gosh. I need to make you cry next week then.
All right, buddy. Well, you take care, and we'll see y'all next week for week 12. For Doc, I'm Coach Lou. Peace.